I lost 30 members of my family in 2 days. Half of my family is gone. Every time I talk to my mom, she tries to tell me her final goodbye. She tells me, I miss you. I really want to be able to hug you again. And I tell her, Mama, why are you not strong? Come on, you're going to hug me again. And I close the line and I cry for 2 hours. I cry at how unjust this world is. I cry at how the world does not see my humanity. I cry at how silent the world is. Not only silent, but complicit in war crimes and massacres that are being committed against me and my people. No one is safe in Gaza. I don't know if my family is gonna make it or my friends. I don't know who's next. I don't know. And I don't want to know. I just want it to stop. I just want to wake up from this nightmare. Everything started on Saturday where I lost my best friend, the friend that I would call whenever I needed to cry or whenever I needed to share good news. Ibrahim and I covered the 2022 aggression on Gaza. He was the person who would shoot my videos and I was the reporter. His dream was to become a world-renowned photographer. In the morning, he texted the group chat of our friends and he said, the situation is escalating, I'm going to the office. So I texted him privately and I said, Ibrahim, please take care. My messages didn't go through to Ibrahim. I kept being worried and I kept trying to reach him, but I couldn't. My colleague said that Ibrahim is missing. And it's been 10 days and I feel like I just lost him like 2 minutes ago. I still don't believe it's real. I genuinely don't believe it. I just feel like I'm in a long nightmare and I'm not waking up, you know. He told me in the 2022 aggression, he told me, Yara, you're gonna be the next Shireen Abu Akleh. They killed her, but you're our Shireen Abu Akleh. Please don't ever give up journalism. And he told me, we'll report every aggression side by side. And I genuinely thought we would, you know, but I didn't know that Israel would just kill him, just like they did with Shireen Abu Akleh, just like they did with Yasser Murtaja. Ibrahim became a journalist in the first place because he was so inspired by Yasser's Murtaja and he wanted to carry on his message. And I don't know, I never imagined that I'd lose Ibrahim. He was so young, he was only 21 years old. He was only 21 years old. I wish you can give me more time to talk about every single member of my family who was killed in detail and tell you about their dreams, their ambitions, what they wanted to be and what they've done in life. I want to tell you about my eldest uncle. He had dementia. He barely remembered anything about his life, but he was always smiling. He was telling me that he loved me every time he saw me. I want to tell you about the children. In my uncle's house only, 8 children have been murdered. Those children, I have so many memories of them. I remember them calling me and telling me, Yara, can you please come for a sleepover? Yara, we want to do something with you. I used to love babysitting children, so I used to babysit them whenever I went home. My cousin, who was murdered yesterday, she was a bride. She was supposed to get married next month. She literally prepared everything. She even picked her wedding dress. She's been so excited for her wedding and she's been doing it for months and months and everything's gone just like that. My cousin and her children, her 4 children, they were Swedish nationals. They were visiting Gaza and then, you know, they got trapped and they couldn't leave. They're Swedish nationals. Yeah. And they were killed. How are these terrorists? How is my family that I grew up with my whole life, people who taught me how to love, people who taught me how to live, how are these people just killed in 1 second? They're gone. And there's so many. I even feel guilty talking about my family and not the more than 3,000 Palestinians who have been killed in the last 10 days. I feel guilty because every single one of the 3,000 was not a number. Every single one of the 3,000 had a story. They were journalists, they were doctors, they were teachers, they were dreamers, they were so much. They were humans after all. They were humans. They had dreams and ambitions. I don't even have time to grieve my family. I don't have time to cry. or talk about them. I have to report, and I have to work, and I have to educate the West, and I have to tell them why they shouldn't be asking me if I should condemn Hamas or not, but they should be asking me about Israel and about what Israel is doing. They shouldn't ask me and dehumanize me when I'm a Palestinian journalist, not a spokesperson of any political party. They should ask me about the 30 members of my family who are not militants, not a group, not part of any group. They should be asking me these questions. I just want everyone to know this is not a Israel-Hamas war as Israel portrays it to be. Let's imagine a world where Hamas does not exist. Imagine the West Bank, Hamas is not in control there. What has been happening in the West Bank? There's apartheid, there is military detention of minors, there is torture, there's killing of Palestinians every single day, there's oppression, there's complete home demolitions, everything you can imagine they're doing in the West Bank. So why are you asking me about Hamas now? Why are you not asking me about my childhood, what I had to go through? Why are you not asking me about how I didn't see my dad for 6 years, and then I saw him only for a few months, and then he died. He got really sick and died. I couldn't see him for 6 years. They prevented me from being with my father. They prevented me from having a normal childhood. I had to be in therapy for years and years to get over the sound of bombs, the pictures of murdered children in front of my eyes, and the guilt that I felt that I survived and they didn't. Why are you not asking me about the 30 members of my close family that were killed? Why are you not asking me about the 1,000 Palestinian children that have been killed in the last 10 days? Why are you not asking me about how my best friend, a journalist marked clearly as press, was killed? Why are you not asking me this? I'm not a spokesperson for Hamas. I'm not a part of any political party. I'm a journalist. My job is to report on what's happening. My colleague, Mu'taz Azaize, they bombed his house, killing so many of his family members. My other colleague, Ali Jadallah, just in the last 10 days, they've killed his brothers, an elderly father. My boss and mentor, Rushdie Sarraj, was killed as he was in his home on an airstrike. It was literally targeted assassination of him because he was a journalist. They're literally targeting journalists and trying to threaten them. If you are doing your job, we will kill you. And this is what Israel has been doing for the last decades, because journalists are the only way for the world to know what's actually happening in Palestine. I don't remember a day in my life where there was peace. I don't remember a day in my life where I felt that I'm not gonna die the next moment. I was only 8 years old when I witnessed the first aggression on Gaza. It was in 2008, and then it was in 2012, and then it was in 2014, and only in 2014 that I was able to comprehend what's happening. Like when I was 8 and when I was 12, I didn't really understand death and killing of people. I didn't really understand losses. I didn't understand destruction. I didn't understand white phosphorus or chemical weapons. I was a child. The only thing I wanted to do is play and be around my family. When I was 14, I was in the hospital crying, telling my parents, I don't believe you're alive. I was so in shock and in PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that I genuinely believed my family were completely killed because of the amount of killings I've seen as a 14-year-old. If you're a Palestinian living in Gaza and you were born in 2000, you would have been living through 6 aggressions by now. This is not just the first time that Israel decides to completely wipe out complete neighborhoods and attack civilians and attack hospitals, but this is the most barbaric attack that we've seen. Palestinians in Gaza have not seen one day of peace, not one day that my family and I felt safe in our homes. What is it like to be a Palestinian? What is it like to grow up in Gaza? And I don't have one answer. I have millions of answers. I have thousands of answers. Growing up in Gaza meant that by the age of 14, I saw literally body parts of people, children being murdered in front of my eyes. I remember I used to say, if I survive this aggression, if I make it alive, I'm gonna write a book and tell the whole world about what's happening. And I was only 14 years old. I didn't realize what was happening to me then. This is what it's like to grow up in Gaza. But it's also all the nights that I spent talking to my dad about politics and how Palestine will be free one day, and how my culture is important, and how I should be committed and steadfast on my land, and how my mom cooks Palestinian food for us and teaches us the recipes that my grandma made and that her great-grandma made and that her great-great-grandma made. Being Palestinian is so painful, but at the same time, I would never want to be anything but Palestinian, because I know my people, they're the strongest people I've ever met. They endure so much. Being Palestinian means that you have friends in the West Bank, but you're unable to meet them or see them. Being Palestinian means that you're a Muslim or Christian and want to go pray in Al-Aqsa Mosque or in the Church of Nativity, and you can't, just simply because you're from Gaza. Being Palestinian means that your existence is threatened every single day. And not only that, but that every single day you need to wake up and convince the world why you're a human and why your life matters just like the rest of the world. Being Palestinian is hard, being Palestinian is difficult, but being Palestinian is something I will never stop being. For the first time in my life, I feel like my voice is being heard because I'm using my platform. I'm trying to work 24/7 to tell the world what's happening. And even if news media organizations don't care about Palestinian voices, there is independent news outlets that are trying every single day to amplify Palestinian journalists' voices, and Double Down News is one of them. So please support them.